Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Kalle Sauerland. We just witnessed the face-off and press conference between KSI and Joe Fournier. KSI instigating a bit of heat now, setting up the fight nicely.
KSI, Ricky?
Sorry, Joe Fournier.
Oh, I was about to say, bloody hell. Yeah, it was an interesting one. It was different to your normal crossover boxing press conference, I found. I think, Joe said what I expected him to say. I didn't expect him to say, I'm going to meet you toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring. I had to question him. I questioned him, I think, 2 or 3 times up there. Was like, why are you doing this? You've got nightclubs all over the world, billion-dollar man, flying private jets, and, you seem to have packed it in at 9-0, hit the top 10 WBA, you've had the WBA Intercontinental Championship, or International Championship. So why? And this is just my personal opinion. But my personal opinion is he's developed that sort of YouTuber lifestyle, influencer lifestyle in the last few years around the nightclubs and, this, that and the other. So it's sort of like he's looking at them and saying, hold on, I'm actually a pro boxer. I've held world rankings, titles. So I think there's a bit of jealousy in that they've got this fame and now they're coming through on the back of boxing. And I think he's trying to, he wants to turn up and he thinks he's going to flatten him and make a statement and basically take that mantle. That's my personal opinion. I think that push was premeditated. It was to sort of say, here's the daddy, move over, young lion, That was my take on it. I think he knew that a little bit like a boxer in a pro fight is often told, I have a quiet first round, but just let him have a taste of the power. And I think he sort of took that as a moment. He knew whether he discussed it with David Haye before or not. I think he wanted to put one on him and show that he's taking this very, very seriously.
Hardcore boxing fans will question Joe Fournier's record. Do you feel this is a fight in which KSI can come through and maybe then he's ready for maybe stepping over to the professional side and fighting over here as well, the Tommy Furies of the future?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you can question the record. The record stands as it is. Has he beaten the best in the world? No. Is he saying he beat the best in the world? No. He's fighting the crossover space right now. Yeah. So are his credentials legit? He's got out of the top 10 ranking in the WBA. I'm not going to dispute that. That's what it says on paper. It is what it is, and he's held the WBA International Championship, which is currently held by Josh Boazzi, I believe. So those are the credentials. I can talk about a lot of fighters with 9-0 and look at their records, and I don't know, look in the pro scene, like Alan Babbitt's record. The people he's fought. You know what I mean? Where'd you start? Yeah, but. Again, always I give credit to anyone who's got in the ring, even if they're 0-99. He's been there and done it,
Now, you mentioned Tommy Fury. It's been said that there are talks have happened. Where do the talks stand right now, and is that a possible fight for the future, KSI and Tommy Fury?
Yeah, I went up and met with John, terrific man, and we had a good talk. And I think that fight happens. That's my feeling. He's a straight talker. I know what it takes to get it done, and working on that at the moment. And we're going to be not overlooking this fight. But at the same time, as a promoter, I've always got to think ahead. And we're talking victory. I believe my man KSI takes Joe Fournier out of there. I do believe it. And from there, we have to go on. We exchanged contracts for months with Jake Paul and his team. I'm not going to blame him because those talks started long before the Tommy Fury fight. He's lost, decided on a different route, and that's fine. And he shouldn't be too down about the loss because you can come back from a loss stronger. Depends what you make of the L, a loss or a learn. We'll find out. I'm sure that fight gets made as well, but no, on the Tommy Fury stuff, absolutely. With a very, very good face-to-face. up in lovely Morecambe, beautiful part of the world, and yeah.
A few things away from this, Kalle. Just very surprised yesterday that the news broke that Amir Khan had failed a drugs test for Austrian. What was your reaction to that? It took a lot of people in boxing by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I like Amir. I consider Amir a friend in the business. It's a shock, but he should obviously have his hearing and make his case. But at the same time, I can't really comment on that because I'm not party to that. But come on. What's the real question here? You know, I mean, we don't want to talk shit, are we? I mean, let's be serious. What's the real question? Why? Should I ask the question you're going to ask me? Why did it take 15 months, pretty much, 14 months, now I'm exaggerating, 14 months to come out with a UKAD test result? This isn't comparable even. I'm saying that our situation with the board as well is terrible. It took 5 weeks. We weren't notified. That was a VADA test. This is a UKAD test, part of your license with the British board. So the promoter, everyone knows, it's part of the system. So, you know, you are informed. And if you're not, well, why are you not being informed? I saw, you know, the promoter said yesterday that he hadn't been informed. I'm not putting that in doubt. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know. But if that's the case, why? Where's the statement on why has Ben Shalom not been informed? He's the promoter of the fight. How can you not be informed? It's not some sign-up voluntary testing. This is UKAD, part of your license with the British Boxing Board of Control. It's a post-fight test, if I understand it correctly. So why was no one informed? Why, you know, let's say it wasn't even, they were not allowed to release to the public for whatever reason. But why wasn't the promoter informed? Why wasn't the other side informed? You know, how can that be? How can that possibly be? This is the part. I mean, there was serious discussions. I know because Eubank was in talks, or we were in talks for Eubank to fight Kell Brook. There was a hold-up on those talks at the time. You know why? Because Amir Khan was considering activating his rematch option. That's what we were told. So explain to me, how could that have been the case? Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. But as always, time will tell.
I understand as defence.
I mean, sorry. In any walk of life, how can a result be held up that long? For what reason under planet Earth? And it's time for a very clear statement on this. Maybe there's something that I'm missing. Of 23 years experience in this sport, well, maybe I'm missing something here. But that's the facts that I know. I'm not involved in it all. I can only see what we all see. You know, why did it decide to come out on the 4th of April? A year later, was it like special day? It should have been on April 1st, to be honest.
Just been pushed for the last couple of questions, so we'll leave that conversation for another time. Look, where do we stand right now in terms of Chris Eubank Jr.'s next fight, Conor Benn? Conor Benn's teasing announcement for Abu Dhabi, June 3rd. Is that it?
Is he teasing announcement? Where was that?
On social media.
Okay. As you can see, I'm very social media savvy. Look, we've had a flirt around that fight. That at the moment hasn't gone further than a flirt. We have things to iron out around the Liam Smith fight. Okay. I don't know if Liam does as well on that side. That part I don't know, but I do know we have things to iron out, and you know, that part is something that's ongoing, hasn't stopped.
Look, the question that's been posed around that, look, if you're happy to make the fight, you're not complicit in saying, look, if someone's failed, we'll take them somewhere else and they can fight there. Is that not damaging the sport if that fight is made? On the basis that the British board doesn't like it, or what? Just on the basis of, like, morally, where do you stand on it? Look,
how can I morally talk about? When you say morally, it's not really morally. It's about we're talking about the British board. They're not happy with it.
No, just in terms of wanting to make the fight.
It could be a moral question if he's given the all clear legally to fight. and he's got a license. Why would it be? Why is it a moral question then?
Because in the sense that, look, it's not been cleared by UKAD, not spoken to. He's not got.
Just a second. UKAD and the board, they still haven't informed us of the test. So they haven't come to us. So I'm still not fighting. My guy was in training for 5 weeks when they knew the test results. He was sparring every day. He was making weight every day. Sparring is a bloody dangerous thing, by the way. Yeah, it's not to laugh at. So how is it morally on us? Like what moral part are we involved in this? I just can't see it. You know, we've had an opponent that's failed tests. Okay, right? They've gone away and dealt with it. Okay, they've got the all clear to fight again. That's what's on paper. I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to comment exactly what the things are. So morally, we are talking about the British board, but the British board hasn't spoken to us once since this happened. They haven't said, come have a cup of tea with us and we'll explain to you what actually happened. Why were we not informed? And sorry, so when we talk about morals, let's remember from which side we're talking on here, yeah? We're the aggrieved party, not the offending party.
Good conversation to have. We'll develop it at a later point. I want to get a final thing from you. Joshua's performance. A lot of people kind of writing the obituary for his career. Where do you stand right now?
Come on, I mean, you know, I think people, I don't know. I think they look at Joshua on the scales and see this monster of a man and expect him to be Mike Tyson that's going to walk through walls. Joshua's not really that type of a fighter. I can't think of this predatory part. Yeah. In his first 6 fights, we just talked about that. You know, let's look at the opponents in his first 6 fights. You know, yes, he looked like a predator there. I don't know many heavyweights that don't. But when we look at the big fights that he's been in, whether it's Joshua Parker, Carlos Takam, I'm going to leave Klitschko and Povetkin out because there he, of course, looked a lot more aggressive. But in the boxing fight, and Klitschko was at the back end of his career, but still monumental. One of my favourite fights that I've seen at heavyweight in recent times, together probably with Wilder Fury 3. Fury Wilder 3, sorry, Tyson. Be careful. But I don't. It's where you look at the expectations. I mean, come on, he's just come off back-to-back losses, got a new coach, right? He's got an opponent I don't think was, and forget about selling him and whatever else, I don't think it was a clever style opponent to take. He was a guy who was going to throw punches and then clamour. But hey, I'm not involved in their matchmaking. But yeah, you know, he'll be the coach will be happy he got 12 rounds because it's about, you know, if he would have taken him out there in 30 seconds, the coach isn't going to really see much of what they've done. So I think it sets them up nice. I think that by the sounds of it, it's the Dillian Whyte fight next. What could come in between that is the Hrgovic fight. If the Dubois fight really does go ahead, then the next in line for the interim IBF World Championship is Anthony Joshua, Filip Hrgovic. So that could come up. There's a few things to watch.
Good conversation. Thanks for speaking to SecondsOut, sir. Much appreciated. Cheers.